Hey everybody, Tom Lenfesti and Kyle Frizzell with NC Planning here with you again for another Tax Talk Tuesday. And so one of the things that we have had a lot of questions about, and of course, Kyle and I and the team work with clients on income tax planning questions, otherwise, and working with CPAs as kind of those key advisors as well. But one of the items recently that's come up as a result of COVID-19 is a lot of you have potentially gone home to work, and that may be short term, and you're going to go back, into the office, on a gradual basis or anything else. It may be more of a long-term type of plan, or for a lot of people, it's going to be just the new norm. It'll be a permanent kind of change with the office, kind of landscape just changing to as a result of COVID, but now as more of a permanent for choice or for safety or whatever it is. So working from home. Kyle, one of the questions that comes up a lot, of course, is, hey, I heard I can deduct all sorts of things with my house if I work from home under the home office deduction. What can you kind of tell people or tell us about, the home office deduction and what people should think about if they're considering deducting that?
Yeah, absolutely. So they're right there. You can deduct a whole host of things under the home office deduction, but you have to get there first. And so one of the things that comes up is, I can spread everything out on my kitchen table. That's where I've been working recently. And I want to deduct all the expenses related to running the power bill, the internet, the things that you need to conduct business from home. And we kind of have to pump the brakes right there first. One of the key requirements under the IRS regulations right now is that this home office has to be exclusively and regularly used as a home office. And just spreading things out on the kitchen table, even if you do it every day for a period of time, isn't going to be enough. So there are different ways that we qualify for the home office deduction under the regulations. And the breakdown is really, this either has to be a principal place of business, a place where you meet patients, clients, or customers, or a separate structure. And so just to talk a little bit about each one of those, the principal place of business is really going to be determined based on facts and circumstances. If this is where you conduct most of your work, even if you're perhaps out in the field, this is where most of the management activities occur. You're exclusively and regularly using this portion of your home as your principal place of business, then that's our first gateway to being able to claim things under the home office deduction. It can be a place where you regularly meet with patients, clients, or customers. So thinking about, for example, hairdressers who work from home have that part of their house set aside, or people who meet with, their clients for a design business. That's another way to qualify for the home office deduction. And then, of course, there's this separate structure requirement. That one might be the easiest to visualize. Maybe you have a separate office building on your property, or it's even something that isn't necessarily tied to the house, whether it be a shed and you do gunsmithing or something there. Those are ways that you may be able to qualify for the home office deduction.
Kyle, I've joked for years that I was just going to get one of those, nice rent to own, sheds, rocking chair, front porch, right? Just get Wi-Fi out there. And then of course, your separate structure, and separate office is right there. Also, it little helps, and I'm sure everybody can relate, a little bit of distance from, the kids and everything else, that come with working directly in the home. So I think the big thing, Kyle, is, you have to have, again, kind of that permanent setup or a separate structure, or see those clients there on a regular basis. And everybody has definitely scrambled to find space in their home to work from. Kyle and I were talking, off video about the interesting places we've seen people located on Zoom calls and otherwise, but definitely kind of that, more structure element. It'll be interesting, Kyle, and I don't think you've seen anything yet, but if the IRS or any kind of regulations are come out regarding a temporary, relief, for people to deduct based on COVID, right? Like everybody goes home, And typically, this is the IRS standards, but now with the fact that, hey, you're home, you are using your internet, you're working from your kitchen table, I wonder if they'll put in any kind of temporary tax deductions or anything else for, 2020 will come out. It'll be interesting to see that. And of course, we can do an update, based on that, but I don't think there's anything out there right now.
No, I haven't seen anything yet. It's, this is going to be one of those probably forefront issues coming up. I don't know that Congress is going to take it up, but it is going to be something that people ask when it's time to file taxes next year is, hey, I worked from home. I did incur all of these expenses in doing that. And this is a fairly restrictive deduction. There's a number of requirements that we have to hit. So it would be interesting to see if Congress does relax those requirements at all.
It is one of those areas too with, kind of as closing before we do that, to mention that, it's talked about it as a higher audit risk, right? If you take the home office deduction, otherwise, so making sure you follow the rules, do it in the right way. You may very well qualify, or there may be other things that you can deduct as business related expenses that aren't necessarily the home office deduction. But yeah, if you have questions about that, I think it's a good overview, Kyle, and for what everybody should know right now, especially under this, everybody's temporarily working remotely, is hopefully great help. But again, if you have questions, anything else, you're working with your CPA, just let us know. Again, you can send an email to Kyle or I at NC Planning. We'd be happy to help and see if we can be a resource. Anything else, Kyle, to add about this deduction that people should know or walk away with today?
Other than we'll talk, it would be another 20-minute long video to talk about how to actually calculate this thing and what all you could deduct. But just know that you have to kind of get to this deduction first. And we're happy to look at those sorts of things and determine what somebody can deduct.
We'll try to break that 20-minute video into a 5-segment video for viewers and otherwise to do that. But yeah, the calculations involved, anything else, if you have questions or need good resources, just let us know. Kyle, thanks for this great advice. I think it's very timely for everybody who's going to be looking at it. Again, you may qualify for it. Just make sure you follow the rules. If we can be a resource, let us know. Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks.